Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf news on the net. I'm your host, Drac, and today we're talking about the NERF Hyper MACH-100. Yes, it's out there. So a quick disclaimer, because I do know how my audience is, and I do know that you guys are quick to jump the gun, and rightfully so. Like, there's definitely an amount of suspicion towards the mothership in our space currently, especially given how they've treated us over the last couple of years. I just want to point out that while it's obvious that Sophie's wearing like 4 or 5 different Nerf logos in this video and has the exclusive sneak peek on this blaster, that like I won't tolerate anybody calling her a shill or a sellout. With the current media direction that Hasbro has been taking in recent years, that's basically the price of getting these things early. If you want blasters early, you sort of have to take the knee and kiss the ring. And I actually, as someone who's been doing this for a very, very long time, not only empathize with that decision, but I agree with that decision. As early as she is in her influencer career, I think that it would be foolish of her to say no. So I'm glad that she's taken this opportunity and she's willing to take those bullets so that the rest of us can take an early sneak peek at the cool stuff and talk about it. And with that disclaimer out of the way, I do just want to remind you guys that Soph has been to a few of our Nerf events. She's been to at least one End War and I think one APOC, and so she definitely has an idea that some of the things she says here are not exactly true, but for the sake of maintaining that relationship with the mothership, she's got to pretend this is the latest, greatest thing ever. So let's get right into it. Let's go beat for beat.
What's up, guys? I'm Sophie Lighting, and this is a momentous day in Nerf history because I'm going to be the first person on the internet to review the Hyper MACH-100.
Come on,
this
Sophie,
is a
you never
brand
watched
new
Speed
blaster
Racer?
out of a brand new series. If you cannot tell, I am so excited about this. It's going to bring Nerf to a whole nother level, which I didn't even know was possible. Let's open it up and see what's inside.
The old jump cut unboxing. Start him young.
Alright, so inside you're going to get the main blaster. It does need 60 batteries, which are not included, and 80 of these brand new Hyper rounds, which we will get to momentarily. These rounds are 1/3 the size of a rival round, which means that you can fit a lot more in this hopper. This is actually a 100-round hopper. And as you can see, it's significantly smaller than, for example, the Percy's hopper from the rival series. It's absolutely sick. This gets a...
We'll circle back to this, but the two main points there are that the blaster only comes with 80 rounds and it does not have 60 batteries included.
110 FPS, which is kind of absolutely insane for a stock blaster. Alright, here's the moment of truth. That is insane. Alright, so I'm dying to take this blaster outside and show you how far and fast it performs, but before we do that, I just want to show you guys the new Hyper rounds real quickly.
So real quick, we do have a couple of little diagrams about the new Hyper ammo. They're not explicitly 1/3 the size of rival, and they are definitely made of they're less like foam and way more like a rubber composite. Sophie goes on at one point to talk about how they're like bouncy balls, and that definitely sounds correct. Tiny bouncy balls for ammo recovery, not necessarily my personal favorite feature, but she says they're super neon and she can find them wherever she goes.
So this is a new one. As you can see, it is significantly smaller than rival rounds, which is awesome. Also, it is a different material. It's a little bit rubbery and bouncy. It's really, really cool. Makes for some insane velocity out of these blasters. Let's go show you.
Alright, so that's where, unfortunately, they lose me. This performance is really inconsistent. It feels almost like the main issue with the Chaos, where the rate of fire is not consistent, tells us that this is probably powered by the conveyor belt loading system, and that the agitator that's so clearly visible in the ending segment coming up here is just not doing a good job of consistently getting those rubberized balls into that conveyor system. It's kind of sad that they've regurgitated essentially the same technology that was present in Rival and are repurposing it with a much heavier spacing for their crush on these rounds to get a slightly higher FPS. The only other gripe that I have as a content creator, and the only piece of constructive criticism that I really want to offer to Sophie, who again is my friend, is that she swears up and down throughout this video that this is definitely getting 110 FPS. And it would have been so easy for her to verify that with a chronograph, but since she's not verifying it with a chronograph, it invites doubt, and doubt invites chaos, and that's where we're at. So these ranges don't honestly look superb, and when I slow it down, the balls are going all over the place. So by showing this brief firing demo outside, and particularly like showing the trajectory of the rounds across a open air space, we kind of get the impression that the performance from these is going to be very similar to Rival, which is to say that while they might have an initial velocity that's very high due to that crush, and they might even be able to achieve that velocity over a greater distance because the rubber is obviously heavier than the foam, and the smaller diameter is going to lead to less drag. The physics here definitely make them look like floaty random ammo with no real accuracy to speak of. Now, perhaps the logic in putting 80 rounds into one thing is that they're hoping for accuracy by volume, which if that were really the goal, it would be really nice if on their $70 flagship blaster, they sent you enough ammo to like fully load the thing. Why'd you skimp us 20%, Hasbro?
Honestly, guys, I can't use this blaster without just immediately smiling after. It's like the first time I got my hands on the Perseus. It's just the coolest feeling. You feel so powerful. They come out of this so quickly. It's actually insane. I totally understand the reasoning for like 200 round refill packs because you're going to need a pretty significant amount of rounds to keep this thing going consistently. But that is not a con at all. That's actually really, really cool, and you would absolutely demolish competition in a Nerf battle with this. There's really just no there's just no comparison to it. That being said, I am going to film a bit of a battle video because I have a couple of these. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway soon. This Hyper series is awesome. I'm really hyped about it, and
that was a good
I
pun.
cannot
That
wait
was
to
a
show
good
you guys the
jokey
rest of the
joke.
blasters in the series when they do come out, and I am just overall absolutely obsessed. This change.
And again, just in the sake of like neutrality here, as someone who isn't married to the mothership, saying that these are the best thing that Hasbro has put out is unequivocally true. Like, and the fact that they're starting with something like the MACH-100 is showing a little bit of growth, and I want to give them credit where credit is due. It shows that they're way less concerned with the planned obsolescence cycle that they were in Rival, where the Perseus was the final end boss, best thing that you could get. They're starting at the top and working their way down. And so to say that there's no comparison to anything else and that you would absolutely demolish the competition in a blaster battle is true if you're only allowed to talk about Nerf products. But if you've experienced any of the other products coming out from either Zuru or Dart Zone or, you know, the Adventure Force line, I think that it's pretty clear that this is still, while it's top shelf for Nerf, it's middle to bottom for the field at large. And if we slow down the footage of Sophie's firing demo again, it becomes clear that while you might be able to hit your target with your 20th shot, you have no semblance of control over where these things are going at range.
Changes Nerf, in my opinion, forever, just the same way that Rival did. Rival stepped it up to a whole nother level, and now Hyper, I feel like it's a whole nother level. So if you are, you know, like my age, 20 years old, this is actually a really, really fun mode of just blowing off steam and going and having fun with your friends. It's a lot, it's just awesome. So yeah, thanks guys.
And on that, Sophie and I definitely agree. If you are a, you know, fully fledged foam flinger, a full-sized warrior, then this is going to be the top thing that you can pull off of the shelf that says Nerf on it. Absolutely. And I do like that this is how they're trying to explore performance ammo. I do like that the blaster clearly has a safety on it, which means that it's probably getting close to 110 FPS and maybe even getting over it at the muzzle. It's something that I'm personally the most excited about in terms of like Hasbro's offering this year. We're really a far cry from where Nerf used to be. Back when they were like the true clean and clear market leader, the best at developing, the best at production, etc. In terms of like their innovation and in-house design. Like there was a time only a decade ago, and realistically for the entire run of Elite up until like Elite 2.0 and stuff, where most blasters they released were really good. In a world where Nerf was only releasing like 10 or less blasters over the course of the year, pretty much everything that they released was an all-star. It was exciting or compelling or new in some sort of way. And I think that they've really, really lost their stride with their current production development cycle, because if we break down the MACH-100 for what it truly is, it is a $100 version of a Perseus that uses different, objectively superior ammo without a rechargeable pack. So you are going to have to feed an extra $10, $15 into that. And it doesn't come with enough ammo to fill it. While I think that it would be really easy to get lost in the hyper hype, and I'm definitely excited to get my hands on one personally and give you a full unabashed review and teardown, I think that all this sneak peek does is kind of sober my expectations out, whereas this was something that I was really excited for and really looking forward to, because I thought that it was going to bring us back to the era where Nerf was really the #1 blaster brand. It seems like it's, you know, an iteration and a regurgitation of Rival where they feel like they're played out, and they're currently being bested by competitors in terms of both performance and cost in that ammo field. And the only way that they could see to kind of save that market share was to change the game. It'll be interesting to see what the rest of the market does to catch up. I think that it'll be really cool to see what the hobby does with this ammo. I'm more excited for the mass market availability of micro rival rounds than I am for any of the in-house blaster design that Hasbro's doing right now. And Sophie did mention that she just got 2 of these in, so hopefully when I see her not too long in the future, we'll get the chance to one-on-one with them, which will be pretty exciting. She'll have a huge advantage in terms of experience with the product over me, but that doesn't count for everything. Right, guys? As far as the rest of the day goes, I'm going to be live on Twitch as soon as this video drops, so that if you want to ask me questions about it, if you want to ask me questions about why I haven't trimmed this beard off of my face yet, really, if you want to ask me questions about anything, life, love, loss, I'm going to be over on twitch.tv/VampireDrac. I'm probably going to be playing the new set Strixhaven. I really want to get in a couple more good drafts of that before everybody's super familiar with it. And just kind of enjoying my evening. So I'm going to wind it down that way. I would love to see you over on my Twitch. To anybody who just wanted the news, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It's a fresh take in a world where I think we could all do with a little more transparency. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Much love. Blast on Drac out.
So you wanna go to